Hey guys, Ben here from Second Dynasty. A little bit tired today. I will get into that in a second, but the long and short of it is the Type S is finished, or at least in the state it's going to the UK in. John is in the chat, but I have with me on the line Zorima. Say g'day, Zorima, or hello, or whatever.
The non-Australian version of it. Hello, hello.
Yeah, I think it's best left. The g'day should be left to Australians, just because everyone else in the world butchers it so bad. In any case, yeah, it's been a while. Zorima, we had a week off last week because I was busy hosting the fifth Trollywood Animation Festival. It's a local animation festival that I help organize, and the speaker, or rather the moderator for the program, couldn't join in the last couple of weeks before the festival, so I had to jump in. We live streamed it all. It was very cool, very, very intensive. On the Saturday, the last day, all the technical stuff fucked up so bad it wasn't funny. But we did manage to get a stream out, and I did have some wonderful experiences meeting some new people. I got to ask Brenda Chapman, for example, who was the director of Brave, and worked on the Little Mermaid and stuff, why Disney butchered the ending of that fable, which was something that's bothered me since childhood. And the highlight had to be, aside from we talked to Chris Cook, who's a great SFX dude that has animated like Rocket, for example, in the Guardians of the Galaxy, amongst other furry creatures. But the highlight of everything was Collie Wirtz. Now, for those not familiar with the name Collie Wirtz, he was the designer of a little ship known as the Razor Crest. And the very first thing he said to me was, "Hey, dude, I dig your stuff." So,
That's cool.
one of the designers of the Razor Crest, I should say one of them, because it is Disney and they never just have one person on a job that big. But yeah, that was like, okay. He's like, "I looked you up, man. I love your stuff. We probably know the same people." I was just like, I don't think we do. I really don't. I might know of them, but I'm just this guy in Sweden that likes to model. And I've been modeling. In fact, since late January, I have been working non-stop on this model, along with my cohort, Albin, who I've actually sent home for the day today. He only works about 80% with me at the moment. He does have another 1 day a week job, and yesterday was a public holiday. I found out that Wednesday he clocked off sometime around 11:30 at night, when I told him to go home no later than 8. So I said, "Albin, take the day off. You deserve a red day," which is what we call public holidays here. So that's the long and short of it. So we're going to have a tour of the finished ship, both in Maya and in, real life. There are some minor adjustments. I'm going to have to do some printing over the weekend to account for that, but on the whole, the ship is finished, which is a huge milestone. Huge. No, Albin's not an intern. I actually pay him. Yeah, that's why I feel confident bagging him out so much. Anyway, yeah, Zorima, how have you been, mate?
I've been pretty good. I've been focusing a lot in the last couple weeks on the lighting stuff and finishing it all off. And every time I do stuff for ships like this, I always start thinking about other stuff I want to add on afterwards too. So it's like you finish the project, but then you're still like, oh wait, I could do this, or I want to add that, or.
That is the problem. I'll bring it up in a moment. But I've been in touch again with Mark Miller, the creator of the Type S and Traveler, of course, about stuff. And I said basically in the last mail, before I was dealing with the turret, this is essentially like the end now. We can't really change anything before production. And then he had some suggestions, which we'll go through through later, and we'll talk about the practicalities of how easy that will be to implement or not. But I thought in the meantime, let's see if I can get up this image you sent me, Zorima. If I can find where I saved it. Let's see, it should be in reference material with everything else. Unfortunately, there was only one still image that I could save, and it is huge. Can we fit it to the screen?
Ooh, that's really big. It's filled the whole
Let's see. Full screen projector preview. Maybe. No, that's not it at all. Window projector preview. Oh no, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. Okay, it went away. But not to you guys. Let's see. I'm just trying to make this image a reasonable size. Let's see. All right, here we go. Here we go. There we go. There we go, guys.
There it is.
So you can see that the lighting is so much brighter than our last attempts, which is exactly what we were going for. So yeah, it's nice to see that it's all going great. I'm looking forward to getting those at some point and testing them out. I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is we're pretty much finished with the ship. It's going off to England. The bad news is we're 2 weeks overdue, which means that unfortunately Brian can only commit to painting the outside of the ship, which means I'm going to have to do the inside when it comes back. It may be a bit stressful, but at least now we can sort of calm down and start focusing on stretch goals and stuff we're going to do in the campaign in general. So Zorima, awesome work. I'm looking forward to seeing those in the flesh. We do have a bit of a mess in the scene, but the main thing you guys will notice is the new turret. And this one is, unlike our own turrets, this one is actually based off the same design that I based basically the whole plating off, which I guess if I bring up Photoshop, let's see. We're only going to have a shorter session today, I thought. For one thing, I'm not going to be building anything new today because most of my work today involves actual physical printing. But if we look over here, fit screen, there we go. No, 100%, there we go. So, oh god, that's right, the controls aren't as in Maya. Let's just move this over here so you guys can see the turret here. So this is the base model I've based it off. Now this isn't your standard T5 turrets, but this is some kind of combination of, you've got your missile launcher, which is, I guess, cast in shadow, but this is the larger one. You've got your sandcaster, which is the smaller one, and you've got a laser. And you can kind of see why this won't be practical to light up because of the narrowness of the barrel in this case. Also, the other issue is that the barrel actually slides along this vector. So you can get it all the way up to cover a full 180, 360 sort of motion. I may raise this slightly higher than what I've actually printed out, so that some people are saying that they want to get the barrel to come a bit lower so you can sort of get it over the edge of the ship. The kind and style of turret that Mark suggested to me wanted to have the ball a little bit lower, so the actual middle, if you imagine this as a sphere or a semi-sphere, basically the middle is somewhere here. But we can't move anything lower than that. One thing that's important to remember is that the ship itself is kind of a turret, so it can just maneuver into place and should be able to, for the most part, get that weapon. I mean, just by turning, if nothing else, it should be able to get that weapon so it can hit any arc. But I understand this may bother a few people, so I'll see if there's something I can do. I can probably just take out a little bit of a chip at the bottom and we could probably just get a tiny little bit more out of that. Probably not that much, but we'll see. So the turret is one of the main things the next major thing, of course, is the upper deck. And this was the one Albin was put on, and this is also why I sent him home, because he was working too hard on it. I had to do a little bit of touch-ups yesterday just to get it to print in the right orientation. It had to print with a couple of supports too, but on the whole, I'm kind of happy with that. We can kind of switch to the close-up here, and I can kind of show you guys what I mean, because this is fresh off the printer. Let's see, I can just temporarily put a clip in here. I haven't tested this yet, so this should be interesting. Alright, let's put that in place. Alright, so here we go. This is our upper deck and fusion drive. Sorry, not fusion drive, fusion power plant. I can get this in a little bit closer.
More sense. I think, what? Drive?
Yeah, not a drive. So the thing that's wrong with this version is that on this side you see these nice cables and things that leads directly underneath to the jump drives. Unfortunately, they were offset on the other side because we thought it would look cool, and then we realized no, it needs to be there. So part of what I did, also this doesn't have any ladder coming up on the ladder well. You can just see the port, and you can kind of see there's this tiny little hole at the top. Albin forgot to add supports there, but it printed out pretty well anyway. But this notch I've moved to the other side, so you can see the empty version here. So this is the same thing. This time we've got the ladder well built in. It did require a bit more support than I would have liked, but it came out very nice. For FDM, you can see we've got some cables on the other side. And now, fresh off the printer, we have the new fusion power plant. So I'm just going to stick this together like so. And then I'm going to, you can see I forgot supports on the underside, so these aren't really huge issues. Just can get a little pen knife and basically cut out the loose filament, which I'm doing now. I guess I got to hold this up a bit closer. Not used to working on this level, so just wait for the fountain of blood to come.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say with it at angle, yeah.
Alright, that's 1, 2, I was going to say, and here's one I've prepared earlier. Alright, I think we're about done. So we can see that the open lock clip holes are clear now. I'm just going to attach 2 because I've only got 2 clips here. That's about it. So hopefully this is going to work. Let's see, I need to line that up. Alright, will that go in? Here we go. Is it going to work? I'm very delicate here. Okay, that's 1. And 2. Alright, that looks rather secure. Very nice, right? Obviously, I got to take to it with a lighter just to get rid of some of that stringing. But on the whole, I'm pretty happy with that. And there's also like a control panel that'll be on this side. In the final version, we may have a different solution, I'm not sure. But there is a minor issue with this and the final printed version. So maybe I should show that off as well. Yeah, there are clip holes sticking out the back underneath here, but they'll end up basically being on your table. It'll throw it off balance a little bit. We might make a more elegant solution for the non-prototype version. But yeah, we have our ladder well there up the top. Eventually I'd like to put the munitions for the turret in. It's not going to make it to England. We are just so over time. Yes, it has been a point of stress. If I didn't have a animation festival to take care of, we might have been in a little bit of a better situation. Sorry,
Ben.
Yeah.
Do you think it's in state ready for sending to like Seth and those for guys for review now?
Yes. It is, but we need. The problem is there's no instructions, of course. So Very big project, but yeah, since we're looking to launch in the first week of July, if they have any hope of reviewing it before then, it has to be pretty much in this state. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was thinking so. Yeah, so I'll reach out to those guys and we'll get some reviewing done then.
Yeah, I think Seth, I've seen some of his Traveller stuff before, and he's active on the Traveller RPG Facebook group, I noticed as well. He seemed very happy to get into that.
You reach out to him and then I'll coordinate.
Yes, please. All right, so I'll show off the reason why we're going to have to not send it today, but send it over the weekend, and that's because both Albin and I, it's not just Albin's fault. Let's get the camera off. Why did I make this? Let's see. Camera close up. There we go. Let's see. I've got a bunch of crap in the office at the moment. This is what happens when I'm super stressed. There's just no cleaning whatsoever. So now we have our finished Type S. Come on, focus. So we've got the full silhouette. We'll try and get around to the back end. I just need to print out the door for the back there, and a couple of doors for the interior, and the ramp, of course. Back airlock are missing. But yeah, we have our turret, and it can move up and down, but this prototype is quite tight, so I'm not going to demonstrate it now. But if we lift that off, we can see the interior cavity down into engineering. I realize you guys probably can't hear me that well, but look at this fuck up. Look at this fuck up. This is on all versions of this. I've printed 3 copies. You can see the other 2 here. There's 2 of them, one on top of each other, and then the third. Look, I'm a fucking idiot. It just doesn't fit. I needed to integrate this front wall into this section. So this part here needs to be reprinted. That's going to be over the weekend. And while I'm at it, I'm going to address the other major issue that I'm not happy with. Now, if you look at the silhouette of the ship from the front, you can actually see that there's a slight curve up camera, so that I think I brought this up before, but you can kind of see it running along the ship, and it's quite straight until there, and then it starts curving upwards just a little bit.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see that.
So basically, the front part here, and that's also why you can see that there's harder lines here, because this isn't going down fully, because the ship wants to actually be a little bit more straight like this. Right? So, what we're doing, I'm going to show you guys in Maya in a sec. Oh! Alright. I've eaten too much crap. Anytime I'm stressed, all I do is just go straight to takeout. So let's move this back to the work scene. So if I unhide all the junk rather, let's see, now I want channel box and then our old parts. This is going to take a second to think because there's a bunch of crap here. What I really want to see here are these pieces. Let's grab these. What are we actually looking at? So a reprint of these versions here, where we actually have, let's take that off and then do that, and then we'll guide it down there. So what this is one of these model aircraft, I believe these are aluminium piping. It's kind of in a cubic form. I believe it's 4 or 5 mil wide, I'm not sure. But this is quite strong, right? And fairly widely available. So basically, the idea is that this will feed right down the center of these parts. So that instead of relying just on the clips, we're going to have this structural reinforcement. There's additional holes to support through here that were already in place. And hopefully this will address some of that droopage at the front. And also, I realized that one of the reasons I was having such a hard time putting the let's see, if I rotate this piece and isolate it as well, let's see, 90 degrees, isolate. This piece prints out like so. Normally I've just been adding supports under there. Oh, I went back also and added like some hatches on the side for avionics access. But because these open lock clip slots are actually slanted, I realized I wasn't getting the clips in because I'm getting some droopage on the inner edge, especially there and here on the underside. So that was making it really hard, and it's actually very tight quarters to get like a file into. So I don't know if I'll adjust that before the final version, but it is a trouble area. I am in my next print. I probably won't do this because it's a 48-hour print, and I'll be. It's a lot. There's a lot on the line, so I'll probably half this and do half at home and half here. But yeah, if we go back here and look at the support setup, I actually added some supports on the inside here, so I'll see if that addresses the issue or if I need to physically make some alterations to the print. It's not advantageous to have to print into these areas. It'll be a little bit of a challenge to get out, but this will also address some other issues I've had, like these walls. I can't really see them with the supports. These walls here are quite thin. Let's see if I take this away and just use the mouse pointer. Yeah, these walls here are quite thin when they print, so I have moved them inwards just a little bit. And then the other thing too was when I created the flaps, I created them for my printer which had loose belts. So consequently, when I fixed the belts, I found that the flaps were too loose. So now I have the mounts which are too not loose enough, and the flaps which are good and solid. So they have been addressed. The remaining things are honestly just a couple of doors. So let's get the lid off this thing. I'll turn off the turret so we can see down inside this cavity, and then I'll also probably so we can see it. Let's put the miniatures back on. Might want to think for a bit just so we can see the scale and talk about what's remaining. Let's see, has that loaded in? I don't know. Let's take the top hull off so we can see in here. Oh, I thought I had a miniature in there. Oh well. But yeah, you'd see there's a control panel here. That needs to, I'm just going to have it glued in to the final version. And especially now that Brian said I don't have time to do the exterior. Look, if I could, I would delay it another month so that Brian could paint everything. But I've been running through the proceeds of the last Kickstarter, and I've done the math, and I don't think I'm going to make it. So basically, we need to launch when we've planned if we can. So I guess I'll be doing some more amateurish painting on the inside. Maybe Albin will do a bit. I don't know. I don't know who's going to do it. But you can see the fusion plant. You can see the piping that we've done. I think Albin did a great job on some of the detail. This actually is a terrible mesh. It's very, very dirty. But we've kind of net fabbed it into working for now. So we would like to clean it up. How long does it take to make a ship? Kopaz asks. I've been doing this full time, and Albin's been on it since the 1st of February as well, more or less 80%. So let's just say 200 hours a month for 4 months, essentially. So you're probably looking at about 14 to 15 weeks full time, 5 days a week. So, yeah, I am at burnout point. I am. I felt at Easter I needed a holiday. I'm not going to get one before the campaign, but I'll probably take it easy the next week. And running the festival too totally burnt me out. So, yeah, I'll probably take it a little bit easy in the coming week. And then we'll start working on stretch goals, because we now at least have most of the stuff we've got to work on right now. It's either our sculptors are doing the work. I've got Albin in, but also I need Albin maybe has about three weeks, and then we need to take a slight break, and then hopefully we do well enough that we can just bring in album permanently.
That'd be cool.
Yes, it would be cool. So that's a lot of the work that's being done. Oh, the other thing that has been done, let's take out the upper deck floor. Oh, all of this isn't actually linked to the upper deck anymore, so let's just add that to the right layer. Let's see, nothing float. I don't know what that thing is. Oh, yes, I do. One of the adjustments I had to make. So yeah, we can see that the engines are in place. They have been reinforced with these, which also double as like holding the floor up, along with these pipes. I think you guys have seen this last time, but what you haven't probably seen in 3D is our crew quarters section. Here we have a galley. Let's see, I can kill the shadows a bit so you guys can see a little more clearly. Got plenty of storage built into the walls. This has been taken for the most part from the Sleipnir's designs, so it's less based on Traveller. But it was getting to the point where, you know, I can't budget-wise justify spending 4 months, basically 6 months worth of man hours, you would say, on this ship. The last one, the Sleipnir, was 4 months with just me. So cost-wise, it's like, on the other side, we have a holo projector sort of situation that would project through around the room. Some more storage. And then we have these, which are fold-out benches. And I have one folded out there. These actually work and fold out. They have print in place. They're pretty simple in layout. But the feedback that we got from the Traveller RPG community on Facebook, at least, is that people wanted to save space. And this will also help you with play space. This is going to be a tight quarters, but this is a tight quarter ship. And just the nature of printing it out in 3D... I may even have to go thicker with these walls because I'm having a hard time getting the doors to print because they're so thin. But they have been printing. These ones now, they print nice. I've revised the door so you can actually firmly see the pattern of the telescoping, not telescoping, the iris doors. They will not be functional, they're just inserts. And there's a couple of different sizes that I've been working on. Hey, where did that one go? Actually, it's probably in the junk layer. Let me see if it turns... Yep, wrong layer. Let's remove that from the old parts. So, there we go. We got it back. What you might have noticed in the actual ship... Well, maybe not, because I didn't take the camera off. So, let's get the camera off again. Hey!
What about the air raft?
That's what I was about to say. The air raft has a very, very primitive prototype that we can see in the back here. So this is by Mikja. Not the same Mikja that's in the that does the environments. This is just a prototype right now. It has a few parts that are getting adjusted. This is only a 2-seater. You can kind of see how cramped it is compared to a 28mm miniature. So there's... Let's see, can you please focus, camera? Camera. There we go. Alright, you can kind of see the size difference there. So it is a very small, cramped vehicle. We will probably do a version where we can put in 4 seats, but it is going to be quite cramped. So the idea is that we're going to have the base version, and then we might do some add-ons and variants of this thing, or maybe a little bit bigger based on the same sort of design. So yeah, that's the air raft, but that will be done ultimately separately. So let's see. It's actually getting warmer here. We're at 24.8 degrees. It was 25.5 when the printer was going, which actually leads to pretty decent prints. Let's see. Back to the work scene. So yeah, you could see that how cramped this actually is. The ship in general is cramped, and that's just a compromise we have to do when we're working with this scale. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. When it comes to the suggestions, one thing that not everyone reads is up the top is that I need consensus if I'm going to make a suggestion as a stretch goal. Because I need to know there's enough interest to warrant the labor, essentially. Now, Mark, bless him. I can't bring up the mail because I don't want to show you guys Mark's address. I'm sure a lot of people would like to know Mark's address. But he did have a request to make the fuel tanks essentially have covers that came along here. And I'm a little loath to do that because I said it's out of the question as far as stuff going to England goes, because we would have to reprint the entire side of the ship or print covers that can go on top. But the issue here is that each one of these sections here now is a little bit different from the last. We have little different details that vary slightly. The pipes have been manipulated so that they don't all fall in the same place, just so that it loses, some of the monotony of looking like a repeated pattern.
What did Mark say exactly? What didn't you like?
He wanted to essentially extend these down to the side of the hull. So a plate
you want to get rid of your detail there, basically?
I don't know, essentially. Like, it's hard to articulate just based on a thing, but my impression was, yeah, like, he did draw a, let's see, how can I do this? If I switch to my camera so you guys can't see my screen, I can maybe load up the mail and get the image that was with it without actually showing the mail. Let's see. There. And if I move this to my other screen... No, go away. No, that was my screenshot. Yes, okay. Alright, and then I will actually turn that off. Okay, so if I share my screen again, I don't think there's anything given away what Mark was talking about, but you can see what is basically modified the picture to look like at the moment. So covers, like so. Although maybe he just means like blocking it off. So actual covers, they could potentially be made up. I don't know. But the problem is that each and every one of these is slightly different in shape. So it's a question. It's one of those things where it looks like it's a simple thing, but actually you're talking about, a week of work to make it. Maybe I'm exaggerating slightly, but a couple of days worth of work at least to get that all working quite tediously. What do you mean?
Yeah, because you have to do it on every part, on every side. So that's a lot of work.
Oh no, Crawlbrian said he could see the address from my glasses, but you'd have to be pretty good. My camera's not that good to read the address, I don't think. I hope not. Don't bother Mark. Anyway, damn it, stupid glasses. Yeah, it's a bigger job than it looks, essentially, because it looks like they're all the same size, but they're not necessarily. If I'm lucky, it repeats every 4, but I'm not entirely certain at this point. Like I said, we're about 600 hours into this build. Actually, more like 8. So we'll see. But yeah, this we have very simplistic living quarters at the moment. That's one of the things we can work on in stretch goals. So we're very much into like the suggestions phase now. Probably next week, I'll probably when I've recovered a little bit, I'll be pointing some questions at the traveler community and our community to make suggestions for stretch goals. I have accomplished this in the past with some Google Forms that have worked really well and given very positive feedback. Usually, I mean, it is from the most diehard fans, but usually people are happy. The major one that we're talking about, that would be the Type J variant of the Scout. I've already provided a render to, I think, Shadow Leica on our Discord, which has a render of this part of the ship, which is the most customizable. All of these walls are designed to come out, so there'll be some options there. Then let's see what else are we likely to do. So the engines are something that are a bit hit and miss for some people. So we can easily offer some alternative cone designs as a stretch goal. A lot of people don't like how thin these engines are, but this is actually exactly how they are in the T5 design. And one thing that people forget is that essentially the engines are grav plates. They're not, thrust propulsion in the same traditional sense.
They're not fueled.
They're not fueled, which is why they're so flat. But even the version of these, let's see, where was I? Can I get back to? I wasn't in here at all. Let's see. I've got another folder on my other screen, which you can probably see in my glasses.
Batteries and wires either.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, if we're just changing the inside of the ship, you could technically use the same lights, and we just change the cone. So, a couple of I was thinking like we could do a version more like the Beowulf, sort of like hexagonal patterns, possibly, or something to that extent. We'll see. I don't want to promise the world on this one. This is a proof of concept. And I mean, the other thing too is I'm going to sell, set the base price. If you just want the ship, it'll probably be in the $30, $35 range without, any of the other stuff that comes with it. So I want to make it accessible. Then the all-in will probably be closer to the, regular price of upwards of, $90 or something like that. But that'll include all add-ons. It'll include all stretch goals, the stretch goals will be included anyway. Miniature stretch goals. So basically everything. Oh, and we're doing a version of our Scout Ship Beta. We'll give it a different name, which is set to the Traveller Universe, which will be included as well. So, lots of work. That's probably what I'm going to move to focusing on, aside from these stretch goal suggestions. And then what we'll have from here on out is probably actually just block out versions, so we don't need to make them printable prior to the actual campaign itself. But we do need to start putting out marketing materials and getting an interest, putting the word out there. So my aim is by the end of next week to have a page up for people to start reserving the campaign come July. So it is a ways off. We'll be putting some print previews out there. So one of the miniatures and I think the control panels from the bridge we'll be putting up for free. Having painting competitions. If you print it and take a photo of it, if you just reserve a place, you get 5% off. If you print it and take a photo of the print, you get an additional 5% off, and then we'll organize discounts for our past backers as well. Probably just another 5%, but something to thank you guys for your loyalty.
How are we doing the light kits?
The light kits we're going to do off page. So we're just going to have a link. You'll be able to get them at seconddynasty.com and you'll just order them directly so that we cut out all middlemans, provided that we can set that up in time. That is the plan in any case. So, what was I going to say?
Price for that this week too.
Okay, all right. The final design, that was 2 AAA batteries, right?
AAA batteries, yep.
Yep, hidden in this section here. If I cut this in half, you can kind of see where the batteries go. The button sits here. They get fed out to the engines and then fed out to the navigation lights. So it's just a green and a red navigation light and then 8 engine lights. 4 on each side, and they are once again very bright. So I'm looking forward to that.
Bright. That was the idea. I was told make them bright, so I did.
Yeah.
And they'll last for a while that way too. With AAA battery, they'll run for a good 4 or 8 hours or something. So they'll run through a whole play session.
And you'll still be able to have the option if you want to use rechargeable batteries if you're more environmentally conscious, which I guess is a good thing. They will be slightly dimmer, but because we have the kind of power that we have, again, what can we expect? Like half as bright as that, maybe, if they're
about a quarter off.
A quarter off, so 3/4 of the strength that we show here. Is that right?
Yep, that's about right.
Okay, all right. So yeah, there we go. Oh, I realize you can't see my face, and yeah. Oh, guys.
The flashing red and green light will look particularly good too, because they're going to in sequence, together flash, and I have it set up so that they're running that way, and that'll be a nice add to give the ship a look like a real landing starship or whatever. The guiding lights on the sides like you see on planes.
Yeah,
it'll be kind of.
Oh, one thing that's also important to note is, guys, when you back on My Mini Factory, you get access to the files we have made already directly. So unlike Kickstarter, where you guys have had to wait, basically if you were a day one backer, we had a 3-week campaign, you'd have 5 weeks to wait before you could start printing. You'll be able to print during the campaign. So some of you will hopefully have your ships done by then. So I've got to get instructions done this time. We're looking at getting this into Deck Designer and making the instructions in there. And actually, maybe I can put John on that for next week, and that might help, like Seth, for example, by providing some instructions. So, exciting times ahead. Oh, yes. It is. It's been epic, this work, and hopefully now we have a decent base to go off with the Beowulf, and hopefully we'll be able to provide that by the end of this year, and then next year we might be able to do something in the Varga style, or probably one Imperial, one Varga style ship or something like that. The next year we might do Zidani or Aslan. We'll see, depending on how popular this campaign is going to be.
I really want to see a modular cutter.
Yeah, a modular cutter I think we could possibly do fairly easily, because it is a smaller ship. So we'll see what is possible. But I would expect the modular cutter will be available in the next year or so.
Good. You going to do any other small craft? I mean, I know you're doing the air raft, but I'm talking like, like there's the shuttle, there's the pinnace, there's some of those other types.
The safari ship, the yacht. No, the safari ship is a yacht. Stuff more that's probably practical for the table. What I would like to do is ship miniatures. I don't know if we'll be able to offer ship miniatures of anything but the Type S in the next one, because it is quite a bit of work. I have had a few offers from fans that we could make available some of the existing models for people, but I feel a bit funny about that. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll have some Traveller miniatures, we'll have the Type S, and we'll build on it from there. Depending on the heights that we're able to reach, the more we'll unlock, promise, and deliver. So yeah, hopefully you guys will keep us busy for a while. But yeah, hold out for an update in the next couple of days. I guess sometime next week we'll try and put out some forms, get an impression of what people are looking for. Hey, for something that I thought would take 20 minutes, we're 3/4 of an hour into it, so not too bad. Just no building today. I'm looking forward to having a slight break from Maya for a while. But I think the results are looking good. So we'll see how it looks when it's all painted up. There might be room for improvement in the future. Who knows? But you'll be able to bring your traveler dreams to life. And I'm looking forward to making that available. All right. Did we get any of our social links in the chat earlier, Zorma?
No, doing it now.
All right. So we'll get those social links in the chat while I drone on. I think the lighting kits are going to look so awesome. I've started planning with Mika from Doku's about the actual build for the scenery. I have a very cool hangar concept and perhaps a preview of some things to come and a certain May Day that might bring back old memories. Anyway, let's see. We're getting those in the chat now. Any last questions before I log off for the day? We should be back to a regular cast next week, unless it's a public holiday. Let me just check that real quick. Do I have my calendar here anywhere? Okay, yesterday was Ascension Day. When is Pingst? Huh. Is it? Oh, there it is. Pingstuffed on. It's on a fucking Saturday. God damn it. Pentecost. Alright. So, no red day next week, it looks. So, we'll see how things go. But it looks like we're clear. I'm upset because I keep missing all the public holidays. Anyway, guys. Let's wrap things up there. I don't see any new questions coming in. Thanks so much for being with me. I'm glad. It seems like now I can make things happen once the stream is live even. So I don't think we'll have the issue anymore where we've got to be on the call already.
I'm glad we did that and still got to get in here to a second.
Yeah.
And we'll take care of that. I want to let people know that although we're doing the lighting kit slightly differently as far as the purchasing goes, that's mainly because of being a physical asset. It makes it a little harder. As soon as your order is placed, though, your shipment would go out in the next couple days, and you should receive it within a week anywhere pretty much in the world.
Yeah, basically the idea behind doing things this way is just because we learnt a lot from the last one. Where the weaknesses were, and what took longer than other times, and this is a way to guarantee that we don't lose any orders or have large delays or that sort of thing. It should all be sort of like streamlined. So it's essentially just buying it off-site as you need it, but the order's done. Then you don't have to pay shipping later. You know how much it costs. And it's already headed towards you, so there's that. I think it'll be a better way to do things. We've just got to make sure that we have a link to things, and it all works well. So I think we'll get that streamlined before the campaign goes up. I'll be in touch with my manufacturer next week. We'll know more. So I'll see you guys.
Final test for hiring links. So
yeah. Don't forget to get on our social media, our Discord, seconddynasty.com. If you go to the on about, I believe, there is a social links section. If you would rather be like on Instagram or the Facebook group, for example, because I think we got the Facebook there, but either we've just got the group or Second Dynasty, I'm not sure. In any case, there's a lot of links. But you can find us most on Discord, so check that out there. The second Discord is to Zorima's Discord page, which is all about helping with 3D printing. So if you have issues with your 3D printer or whatnot, or you want great painting tips, we do have support on our page, but you'll get quicker and probably more direct support on Zorima's page. So do be sure to check that out. He even has a Patreon, which is linked there if you want to support his good work. All right.
Yeah. We also have 3D modeling support too.
Well, there you go.
If you want to learn 3D modeling, or if you're trying to model stuff and there are artists that will kick in and help and design stuff for a fee if you need some help. There's some of that stuff going on too now. So if you wanted like a custom mini done, you could have it done. We've been giving away custom minis about free on giveaway. Uh, so if you join the page, you can join the giveaway and you can enter in a drawing and win a free custom mini done by the same guys that do the minis for Ben here.
Well, some of them anyway.
Some of them, yeah, some of them. It rotates. It changes each month too.
Yeah.
Different artists.
All right.
We're trying to give different artists a chance to try out and show off their work and everything and promote their pages.
Yep. All right, guys. I'm going to try and get these guys printing off, or some of them. Then I'm going to head home for the weekend and get into some Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I think. Anyway, guys. See you guys next week. Bye, guys.
See you. Bye.